Hey everyone, my name is Suyash and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will deep dive into callbacks in Google ADK and we will see how they make your agent production ready. Let's get started. So the focus of today's video is callbacks. Callbacks allow us to observe, customize, and control our agent's behavior at specific or predefined points in the agent's execution process. So today the use case we are going to look at is the content moderation system where we implement safety guardrails, logging, and LLM model request response modification. Why is it important? Why are callbacks important? Production agents need safety checks, monitoring, and some form of control mechanism. Callbacks provide these without modifying the core ADK code. Now, there are some prerequisites for this tutorial. Ideally, you should have completed all the previous tutorials. You should have Python 3.13 or higher, and you should have the Google API key configured from the previous tutorials inside the .env file. Now let's look at some core concepts. What are callbacks? Callbacks are just Python functions that we define, and ADK automatically calls them at specific agent's execution point. What do they help us? They help us with monitoring and logging. They allow us to filter content where we could block inappropriate requests or responses. It allows us to transform data so we can modify inputs and outputs in the agent workflow. It also allows us to enforce safety guidelines or policies. And we could also add any custom logic which our business requires, right, for business specific processing. Now let's look at all these callbacks. Now each type of callback provides access to specific context objects that contain valuable information about the current execution state. Okay, and we'll look at that in a moment. So there are 6 callbacks that are provided by ADK, 2 callbacks per agent, model, and tools. Okay, let's look at that. First, the before agent callback runs. It accepts the callback context and it runs before the agent's main logic. Okay. Next, when the agent calls the LLM, just before the LLM API call is made, the before model callback runs. The before model callback accepts 2 arguments, callback context, which is common across all these callbacks, and then it accepts LLM request. We will look at these objects separately because each of these objects have different attributes that we can access, which we can extract and use. Once the LLM call is made and we get a response, the after model callback runs, and it also has 2 arguments. One is the callback context, which is common. It has LLM response. If the LLM model does a function call, it says call this function with these arguments, then ADK would execute that function tool. Now just before the tool execution, just before the function tool runs, the before tool callback gets called and it accepts these 3 arguments. It has tool context just like callback context. Then it has args. Now these arguments are the arguments that the ADK will use to call the function tool, which were given by the LLM model as part of the function call. After the function tool executes, the after tool callback runs. And once the agent has achieved the objective, finally at last, after the agent finishes, the after agent callback runs. So these were all the callbacks. Now let's look at the control flow pattern. If we want default behavior of the agent, of the tool, or of the model, as part of the function, as part of the callback, we return none. Okay, we just return none. And when ADK receives none, it just executes as usual. But if we want to override the operation or skip an operation, we have to return a specific type of object for each of these callbacks. What is important is for agents, we have to return the content object for agent callbacks. For model callbacks, we have to return LLM response object. And for tool callbacks, we have to return a dictionary object. I have included a different context objects that each of the callback accepts. So you can go through them. For example, we have callback context, and this is all the information that callback context has. Similarly, there is tool context and so on, right? So you can go through these in detail. Now let's look at the use case. So the use case today is content moderation assistant. And through this use case, we will show how callbacks could be used. So it is nothing but a simple writing assistant which blocks requests if there is some hate speech or some unexpected keywords. it also validates tool arguments. We log all the LLM calls for audit. It also adds safety instructions to the original system instructions. We do filter PI information from the model response, and we also track the usage metrics. As usual, if you want to run this code, you can follow the setup process. Now let's jump onto the code and see how we could use callbacks. So our source code is inside the content moderator agent. Most of the code, the callbacks are inside agent.py. We have some tools, dummy tools inside tools.py, which I will show later. Now let's look at agent.py. Now to start with, we have the logging configured. Next, we have defined a list of blocked words. Now these are just for demonstration purpose. You can replace this with a bigger list or some better method. But now these blocked words will be used in the callbacks. We also have some PII regex patterns which will be used in the callbacks. Let's look at the callbacks. So first, let's look at the before agent callback. Okay. And as if you recall, this is called before the agent's logic executes. Okay. So it accepts the callback context. In this callback, we are just going to check if the agent should handle the request or not. In every callback, we are logging the execution process, and we are also tracking the usage metrics. So you will find this everywhere. Now the condition that we check is this: if we find that the application is in maintenance mode, then we override the agent's response by passing a content object, and we return a message saying system is currently under maintenance, please try again. Okay, so this is how we override the agent's response if the condition is met. If not, we just return none, and this allows the agent to proceed as usual. Here we are recording the requests that are sent to the agent. Ignore this user for now. We will cover this in the upcoming videos. Just remember that this allows us to maintain the state across different sessions. Okay, so this was before agent callback. Next, as per the execution flow, let's look at before model callback. Okay, so inside before model callback, this is called before sending the request to the LLM. So here what we try to do is we try to analyze the request that is sent by the user. What we are going to do is we are going to check if there is any inappropriate words here. We would also add safety instructions to the existing system instructions. And as usual, we would log and track the LLM usage. Okay, so first we extract the user's message, the last user's message. And then as part of guardrail, we check if any word inside the user's request is present in our blocked words list. If it is present, we track the blocked request. Okay, we increment the counter. This is the tracking of the usage statistics. And then we return or we override the response of the model. So we don't send a request to the model. We simulate the response of a model. And that's why we return this LLM response object, and we send a custom message saying I cannot process this request, and so on. Okay, so if this condition is met, if an inappropriate word is found, we override the response of the model. But if there is no inappropriate word found, what we do is we add safety instructions. So we include some safety instructions, which is do not generate harmful content, and then we concatenate with the existing system instructions. As usual, we track the usage metrics, meaning here we track the LLM call, we increment it, and then we return none, right? So if there is no inappropriate word found, we would add additional instructions to the system instructions and let the ADK call the model as usual. Now, assume that there is a function call that is made by the model. So ADK is now about to execute a tool. So before that, the before tool callback gets called. So let's look at the before tool callback. Now here, what we are going to do is first we are going to check the arguments. Are the arguments valid? We are going to check if the user has permission. You could check if the user has permission. So imagine there is an API call as part of this tool, and that's where you could check if the user has the session token, right? Or some form of authorization to call the API. Then if you're calling an API, there could be quotas, right? Quota usage limits. So you could check the limit, you could check the rate limit. And then we log the tool usage. First, we log the stage of the execution, then the validation step where we check. So this is kind of a dummy check. We check if negative values are found in the generate text tool. I'll quickly show you what the tools are, so it's easy. So we have the generate text tool. This is a dummy tool. This gets called when you ask the model to generate some text like an article. Okay, ideally it should do something, but right now we are just returning a dictionary saying that it was successful. Then we have another dummy tool, check grammar. And finally, this is our tool which gets all the usage statistics. Now going back to the before tool callback. So this is where the validation happens. Here, if the tool call has generate text, then we extract the arguments. The generate text tool accepts word count. So we check if the word count is greater than 5,000 or less than 0. If it violates this condition, then we log that the tool is blocked and we return a dictionary. Okay, so we said that inside tool callbacks, we have to return a dictionary if we want to override the response of the tool. So we return a dictionary saying that there was an error and invalid word count. So what will happen is this will go to the model and the model will send a proper response to the user saying that you gave a negative count. If this condition is not met, then we check the rate limit. So here we check how many times the tool was already called from the state. Assume that the quota limit is 100, and if the tool was called more than 100 times, just before the next execution of the tool, we check this, and if it violates this condition, we log the warning and then we return a dictionary saying that there was an error because rate limit exceeded. So this was the rate limiting condition. If none of the conditions meet, if all is good, then we just increment the tool count and we return none so that the tool executes as usual. Next is after tool callback. So let's look at after tool callback. Inside after tool callback, we just log the tool result. We store it in our state to be used later. Okay, and we return none so that the execution happens as usual. Next, let's look at after model callback. Inside model callback, we will be filtering PII and we'll be masking it. Okay, so let's look at that. Now first, what we will do is, since this is called after the model response, we will extract the text of the model, the response of the model. We will log it. Now this is where we filter for PII. Now we have PII patterns, PII regex patterns that we have defined at the top. What we do is we check if any of these patterns are found in the LLM response. If they are, then we just add the pattern name and with underscore redacted. Okay, we'll see this in the demo. If we do find something, if we do filter something, that means we have to give the updated response back. So here we override the LLM response and we provide our filtered text. Okay, we provide our filtered text. So here it gets overridden. But if there is no filtering as such, then we return the original response of the model. Now finally, let's look at the final callback, which is after agent callback. After agent callback is simple. We are just logging that the agent has completed execution. We are storing that as part of the state. You could also add an additional disclaimer saying that this is AI generated content. Okay, and then we return none, which is we return the original output. So these were all the callbacks. Let's quickly look at the agent definition. Now the name of the agent is agent moderator. We are using Gemini 2.5 Flash. We have a description and we have certain instructions saying that these are the capabilities, this is a safety, and this is how the workflow should be. You can go through these instructions, and then as part of the agent definition, these are the tools, and finally this is how we provide the callbacks. All our callback functions are provided here, and ADK is now automatically able to call them at specific predefined points. Awesome. So this was the code. Let's look at the code and see if it really works. So this is the ADK web UI and we have selected the content moderator agent. Okay, let's see if it works. So it says, hello, I'm a writing assistant, ready to help you, and so on. I have sample queries that we can use to test each of the callback. Okay, This is part of the README file. Let's pick the first sample user query. Create a sample customer support interaction in 300 words that includes contact information, which is say email and phone number, and verification information. This should trigger the after model callback and it should mask the PI information. So what we're saying is once the model generates this interaction, whatever response we get from the model, if we find email and phone number, our after model callback will check that and it will mask this PI information. Okay, so let's copy this query and let's run this. So the generate text tool was called and you see that a sample interaction was returned by the model. This is where you will see the callback in action. If you look at this interaction, you will see this email underscore redacted, right? Now, this is being done by our after model callback function or callback. And to prove that, if I show you the function response, you will see that the model actually returned an email address. So if we did not have this callback in production, this email address would have been seen. But now because we have these callback, it checked the model's response and it found out the PI and it was able to successfully mask it. That's why you see this email underscore redacted. Okay, this was implemented by the callback. Let's look at the next sample query. So the next sample query is create a 10,000 word article on the history of Python. Now, ideally, this query should trigger the validation logic in our before tool callback. Okay, so let's see that. I will create a new session and I will run this. So you see that the agent gave a response saying, I'm sorry, I cannot generate an article with 10,000 words. Now what happened at the backend was the LLM model did a function call saying call the function generate text with 10,000 words on the topic of history of Python. And then ADK went ahead and it was about to call the function tool, our tool, but our callback kicked in. It returned the response, which is error, invalid word count. And then based on this, the LLM politely said that it cannot generate an article with more than 5,000 words. So our before tool callback worked well. Let's look at the next sample query. Write about hate speech or profanity. These are just words for demonstration as part of the blocked list. Now what should happen is a query will be blocked by the before model callback because it contains word from the blocked list. Okay, so let's try if it works. Right, so you see that it said I cannot process this request as it contains inappropriate content. So the before model callback works perfectly fine. Next, let's look at the usage statistics that we have been tracking across all the callbacks. So this will call the get usage stats tool and it will return the values of the counters that were incremented as part of the callbacks. Okay, so let's see if we can see those counters. So the agent called the get usage stats. So these are our usage statistics across the different sessions. So this way we can track metrics and the usage of the resources across the agent execution. That's all for today. This was all about callbacks. If you found this video helpful, do subscribe, do like, do share, and stay tuned for more such tutorials. Thank you.